Welcome to This Week in Taiwan. I'm Iris Xu. Every Saturday, we break down the biggest stories making headlines across the country. From politics and policy to culture and the unexpected. Whether you are tuning in from Taipei or halfway around the world, we've got you covered with what you need to know to stay in the loop. Taiwan is home to 23 million people, and you might think what happens on this small island doesn't affect you. But in reality, it is quite the contrary. From geopolitics to global supply chains, Taiwan is more connected to your life than you might expect. So let's get into this week's news and see just how interconnected we really are. President Lai Ching-te visited Chiayi, Tainan, and Hualien over the weekend and this Monday during the Mid-Autumn Festival to assess the progress of post-disaster reconstruction efforts following recent typhoon damage. Lai, whose birthday is on Monday, had no public schedule, but took to Facebook to thank the volunteers who took part in relief work, calling their dedication truly admirable. He noted that more than 100,000 people came to help during the 3-day Teachers' Day holiday, even including foreign nationals, which Lai said shows the world's solidarity and empathy in times of hardship with Taiwan. Lai pledged continued government effort for recovery and reconstruction in the affected areas. A Swedish cross-party delegation has arrived in Taiwan, according to the Foreign Ministry's press release this Monday. The ministry noted that this is the largest delegation of the Swedish parliament in recent years. Led by Moderate Party politician Alexandra Anström, the delegation is comprised of 11 parliament members from the Association of Swedish Parliamentarians in Taiwan. Their visit will take place between October 5th and 11th. Their itinerary include meetings with Vice President Chiayi and officials from the Foreign Ministry, Legislature, National Security Council, Mainland Affairs Council, Civil Aviation Administration, Institute for National Defense and Security Research, and more to promote and strengthen Taiwan-Sweden exchanges. Taiwan's efforts to strengthen partnerships across Europe and Southeast Asia are showing tangible results ahead of Double 10 National Day, underscoring growing international support for the island's democracy and economic resilience. After Taiwan and the Philippines signed MOUs on supply chain connectivity last week at an industrial collaboration summit in Manila, this week the Philippine-Chinese community held an early National Day Gala. Taiwan's representative to Manila, Wallace Chow, highlighted milestones such as the Philippines' visa-free entry for Taiwanese travelers and expanded trade and investment missions. He also announced a $200,000 donation to support relief efforts following last week's Cebu earthquake, reaffirming Taiwan's solidarity with its regional partners. In Bangkok, Taiwan's representative office hosted a National Day reception attended by Thai government and business leaders. Representative Peter Lan described Taiwan as an emerging AI island, citing its robust GDP growth and the role as Thailand's fourth-largest foreign investor. The event featured Taiwan's chamber orchestra and displays celebrating Taiwan's semiconductor achievements, reflecting shared ambitions for innovation and resilience. Meanwhile, in Taipei, an 11-member Swedish parliamentary delegation, the largest in recent years, arrived for a week-long visit led by lawmaker Alexandra Anström. The group is meeting senior officials, including Vice President Chiayi, and have attended Friday's National Day celebrations. Taiwan's foreign ministry is voicing confidence in ties with the Czech Republic following recent elections, noting that cooperation in trade, education, and technology remains both solid and strategic. As Taiwan marks its 114th National Day, the wave of new partnerships, goodwill visits, and global gesture of friendship signal continued growth of like-minded allies. Formosa Petrochemical Corporation's, or FPCC's, continued purchase of Russian naphtha, a flammable liquid hydrocarbon mixture, between 2022 and 2025 has sparked concerns among Taiwanese legislators that the resulting sanction loophole could result in tariff retaliation. In a hearing before the legislature's Finance Committee this Wednesday, Economic Affairs Minister Gong Minxin said FPCC has committed to immediately halting purchases should the EU indicate it cannot continue. British newspaper The Guardian published an article last week signaling out Taiwan as the largest buyer of Russian naphtha, noting that Russia relies on energy export revenue to sustain its war effort in Ukraine. FPCC has since issued a statement explaining what proportion of its total naphtha imports for the year of 2024 and 2025 is sourced from Russia. As FPCC's activities effectively created a sanction loophole for Russian fossil fuels, legislators worry that the United States and other countries may retaliate with tariffs against Taiwan. At Wednesday's hearing, DPP legislator Guo Guowen pointed out that U.S. President Donald Trump did not hesitate to increase tariffs on India from 25% to 50% in response to their continued purchase of Russian crude oil, asking the minister if the U.S. might also hike tariffs on Taiwan. In response, Minister Gong said he cannot predict whether the U.S. will respond and emphasized that FPCC has promised to immediately stop buying Russian naphtha if the EU tells them they can no longer do so. He added that CPC Corporation has stopped purchasing oil from Russia since their invasion of Ukraine. Asked by legislators whether FPCC's action poses ethical, national security, and economic risks, Gong said the ministry continues to monitor the situation. President Lai Ching-te thanked the superheroes from across the country who are assisting in the Bataan River landslide disaster recovery efforts. Lai, who serves as party chairman, spoke in a DPP committee meeting on Wednesday, commending the many Taiwanese who chose to sacrifice time with family and friends during the Mid-Autumn Festival holiday to help in the cleanup in Guangfu, Hualien. DPP spokesman Wu Zheng noted that according to statistics, the Taiwan Railway's Guangfu station has seen over 357,000 passengers enter and exit over the past 12 days of disaster relief efforts. He said that this selfless, undivided spirit among the people has not only moved hearts, but expedited the recovery of the disaster-stricken areas, and has also allowed the international community to witness Taiwan's solidarity and compassion in the face of disaster. President Lai also reported that an excavator from Taoyuan surnamed Lin tragically passed away while assisting with the relief efforts. He expressed his deepest condolences and again thanked Mr. Lin for his compassionate and helpful spirit. Lai reminded those who are volunteering to pay attention to their safety, and if you feel any discomfort or injury, please seek medical treatment as soon as possible.
Roughly 11.5 hectares of solar panels were recently installed at Tainan's Wanshantou Reservoir. However, during the latest cleaning operation, residents of the area expressed concerns over potential ecological damage and water contamination. One man says he is worried about pollution making the water unhealthy for use. Tainan Community University researcher Huang Juguang asks what disaster response plans are in place, emphasizing that the primary and secondary relationships of reservoirs must be understood before installing anything. As for cleaning, the Agriculture Ministry's irrigation agency Jianan Management Planning Office Director Cai Zongxun says that their contract clearly stipulates only clean water can be used. He also assures that the water quality inspections are conducted 5 times a year, the reports of which are given to the local district office and the city government for record. According to the agency, the photovoltaic panels cover only 1.12% of the reservoir, and the project is estimated to generate 17 million kilowatt-hours of electricity annually. They said installing solar panels in reservoirs is not unique to Taiwan. The Netherlands, the United States, Spain, South Korea, and Singapore have also been successful with this practice. In addition to Wanshantou Reservoir, photovoltaic facilities are also planned for Zhengwen Reservoir, approximately 36 kilometers away. Gaining social consensus on energy policy is not easy, but with the potentially devastating effects of climate change looming, every community must work together to support sustainable development. Michelle Chang for RTI News.
a newly released spy drama, Silent Honor, is based on the real-life story of a CCP operative undercover in Taiwan, Lieutenant General Wu Shi, who is considered the highest-level communist spy in Taiwan's history. The series, co-directed by China's Ministry of State Security and Taiwan Affairs Office, was released around China's National Day holiday. Analysts say that the China Central Television CCTV drama marks a new phase in Beijing's United Front television and film propaganda. In real life, Wu Shi rose to the position of National Defense Ministry Deputy Chief of Staff in Taiwan, providing highly classified military intelligence to China and assisting the People's Liberation Army. Wu was eventually caught and executed in 1950 along with his compatriots Zhu Feng, Chen Baochang, and Nie Xi for communist espionage. These three are also prominent characters in the series. In promotional materials for the drama, Wu Shi is seen writing the words, "Taiwan must return" in blood while in prison. Analysts say this series marks a new phase in United Front propaganda as it uses entertainment to publicly glorify its undercover agents amid strained cross-strait relations. They say that even as the international community begins acknowledging the threat of a CCP invasion, China is attempting to reshape historical perspectives through the heroic images and strong emotional narratives featured in the television drama. Tristan Hildebrand for RTI News.
Friday marks Taiwan's National Day, and President Lai Ching-te says this year carries historic meaning. Lai declared that Taiwan has now spent more days free from martial law than under it, calling the nation a beacon of democracy in Asia. He praised Taiwan's economic strength, with growth leading the four Asian tigers, record-high exports, and a booming stock market. Lai also announced a major defense boost, pledging to raise spending above 3% of GDP next year to safeguard peace and stability. He ended by thanking citizens for their resilience and unity, saying, "Let's keep going, Taiwan." And that is it for This Week in Taiwan. Until next week.